Speak Life Radio.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Speak Life Radio right here on GorillaCross.com, SpeakLifeRadio.com, the Gorilla Cross app, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. We are everywhere. I'm your host, Quan59, and we have another dope show for you tonight, broadcasting live from downtown Las Vegas. This is Speak Life Radio. We have some special guests that are on with us, so we're going to get into that in just a second. But first of all, download the free Gorilla Cross app. It's free in your app store. We got 24/7 positive hip-hop, sports, a lot of live shows going on all the time, so make sure you guys check it out. Download that. You can check me out here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. West Coast time on Gorilla Cross Radio, Speak Life Radio show, and Unnamed Sports Show every Thursday and every Monday, 3 p.m. West Coast time. We're going to be talking a lot of UFC this week. My man Jamal Hill is fighting on Saturday out here in Las Vegas, so hopefully he'll be live in the studio with us on Monday. So make sure you guys check that out. But we're going to get right into it, man. We're going to get right into it because we have a lot to talk about today right here live on the show. So we have a concert event going on this weekend in Houston. Obviously, a lot of you know Astro World was in Houston, so we're going to talk to these guys about that and what it feels like to be doing a concert out there just a few weeks shy of that event. But I'm going to introduce my first guest, man. We had him on just a few months ago, like about a month and a half ago. But he's all the way out there in Houston right now. He has his plaques on the wall. My man GS in the building. What's good, GS? Unmute that mic.
Yo, what's up, man? How's it going?
There you go. Good, man. How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man.
Good. So we're going to get to the next one. He was in the studio. Actually, he was one of the first. It might have been the first show of the year, Hurt. But we got Hurt live on the line right now as well. Hurt, what's good, man?
What's happening with it, man?
Got to get you back here in the studio, bro.
I'm coming back. I got an album dropping soon, so we got to chop it up.
Dope, man. So look forward to that. And someone that I don't know, but we got him on live right now, Isaiah Robin. What's good, bro?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Chillin', man. Nice to finally get to meet you, virtually through Skype. But, man, you guys are involved in a big concert event, so we're going to be talking about that right now. But first of all, kind of let the people know who you are, Isaiah, because I don't really know much about you, and I know a lot of our viewers might not know who you are. But tell us who you are, how you got into Christian hip-hop, and what's going on with your music.
Hey, man, I'm fairly new. I was really deep in the secular world, I was doing a lot of music in the secular world, living for the devil, I would say, I was deep in the world about a little over a year ago. And, I was deep in partying and selling drugs and women and all that. And, I always knew I was in the world, though, that it wasn't for me. I was one of those drunks that used to talk about God a lot, And, one day the Lord, the Spirit of the Lord came upon me and shifted my desires, which was September 16th last year. And ever since then, I've been walking with the Lord. I've been on fire for God. There's and the Lord's just been excelling me. There's no greater feeling than where I'm at now. I finally have true peace and true freedom now. And I've been making music for a couple months now, strictly for the Lord. Came out of the secular world, and I'm moving forward with the Lord now. Amen.
So this is just a little over a year then that you've been in this process.
Man.
Yeah.
So what's that been like, man? And congrats on that, because it's that's a hard change to make. A lot of people don't make that change even when they feel that pull. So what was that change like, and the progression and just a whole transformation where you're at right now?
Man, honestly, you know, the Lord was with me, man, because I see a lot of people go in it and come out it, you know, and I have my spiritual battles, you know what I mean? But the Lord, greater is He within me, you know. But it was a fast switch, you know. The day before I was partying and, you know, hustling, and then now I'm doing this. So I had all kind of, you know, I looked at my old messages not too long ago, and it was just a whole lot of text messages to people like, yeah, I'm walking with Christ now. Like, I'm done with that. I'm done with this. To women, yeah, I'm not doing it no more. To people who's trying to get things, you know, I'm not doing that. I'm walking with Christ now. So it was a drastic change, you know. But I knew that I was walking, you know, I knew I was in something real now, you know. And the Lord took me out of that and allowed me to see a perspective from the outside on what I was really in, which is just nothing more than a manipulative, deceptive reality. You know what I mean? This reality is nothing but a shadow of a larger reality. And the Lord took me out and allowed me to see that. And now that's where I'm at now, you know, when the Lord's working through me to, you know, using me to, you know, show people that was in my same situation, the same thing that, you know, I was able to see because of the Lord.
So, Isaiah, what was that switch? Because you said it happened pretty much in one day. Like, what was that one time, that one moment that got you over here?
Yeah, I was in my bed, and it was supernatural, bro. You know, I felt the Spirit of the Lord come in me. I felt my sins on one hand. I felt the love of God on the other hand, and you know, I felt forgiven. You know, and I started weeping, crying. I went into a deep cry. You know, and I was crying like almost every day that week. You know, like I could feel me dying to who I was, you know, and I could feel it. And I could feel the Lord, you know, me not holding back anymore, but letting the Lord take me, you know. So it was a supernatural feeling, really, because when I was in the world, you know, I would talk about God. I would talk about this. I would say this and that, but it was always a chain holding me back, you know, different things holding me back that made me not want to fully give in to the Lord. Like different things like, oh, I ain't messed with her yet. Oh, yeah, I can't go there yet. You know what I mean? I ain't did this yet. I can't do that yet. So when that happened, I fully surrendered. I got up. I threw all the drugs I was selling away. I deleted all the inappropriate things on my phone. Yeah. All of that, you know, because when you hold on to it, you know, it's growing subconsciously. You know what I mean? So I wanted it all gone. You know, and that's so, you know, it was a drastic change, you know, but the Lord got me. The Lord has me.
Now, had you been in church and you were, you know, still going to church and doing that, or was that just like you weren't even dealing with God at all?
Nah, I was in the world. I was deep in the world. I was deep in Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah, I was deep in the world. I used to go to church when I was little. But even, you know, now that I'm walking with Christ fully, I realized that was nothing more than just like a fashion show. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's different when you truly walking with the Lord, when you truly walking with Christ, you know what I mean? And truly, you're truly absorbing revelation and growing spiritually from the inside out. It's different than just going to church weekly and not even really not even seeing your people open the Bible. They just getting dressed and want to go to church because they want to look good. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's different than just order. You know what I mean? I'm truly walking with the Lord now, you know, and growing in the word, being washed with the word from the inside out.
Yeah. So what's it like, you know, you were doing music, you know, before you came to Christ. So a lot of people take a lot of time off from doing music because they think like, if I become a Christian, I can't do music anymore. I got to get rid of everything. So what was that transition like, you know, going from that and being in a place where you felt comfortable, you know, just switching up your music style?
Yeah, I just talked about this the other day. Yeah, I stopped it all. You know, I wasn't even sure if I was going to do music again, really, you know, and I've been doing music for 20 plus years. But, you know, I told them, I wanted to give everything to God in whatever was in the Lord's time, you know, will be in the Lord's time. So, you know, I wasn't doing anything, you know, I was just trying to find a place where I can grow spiritually And it's when I finally came into where my cousin was, the Voice of Healing. I started going there, and I started growing spiritually. And then, I wasn't thinking about music at all. And then, one day in my car, I felt the Lord, give me the okay. I felt it okay in my spirit to do what I feel like I'm gifted at for the Lord.
Yeah. Now, was that hard writing your first Christian rap? What was that like?
No, it wasn't hard. It flew. I felt like the Lord. I felt like I couldn't write it unless I prayed the Lord to speak through me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In other words, I'd have like writer's block. You know what I mean? So no, it flowed. It flowed real well. The first rap I wrote was Dear Lord. I have a song called Dear Lord. Which is growing really well. And it flows. You know what I mean? And it feels better now. It feels, because I was glorifying myself then, but now I'm glorifying God.
Yeah.
And it feels right spiritually.
Yeah. That's good, man. We'll definitely have to talk more on this, in the future, get people your full testimony and where you're at right now with it. Hurt. I know you're heavily involved in helping put this event together, series. This is going to be more than just one time. Talk to us a little bit about this, getting involved in this and putting it together, and what the whole concept and idea behind the Sound of Light experience is.
So the Sound of Light experience is just something that we wanted to get the body under one building and break down the barriers of race, classism, economic structure. We want to break down the barrier of song genres and styles, and understand that we all are united by the blood of Christ, by the word, by the Spirit of God, and by the Father. And so we're going to do this bi-monthly. So every other month we'll go and do this. It's called the Sound of Light because light gives you order. It gives you the ability to see. Without light, there's no vision. You can't see in the dark, right? We're not animals. And sound gives you the ability to hear your instructions. So the Sound of Light is literally the revelation of God coming forth, and we do that through music, and we also want to do that through the word. So Isaiah and I actually attend the same church, and the apostle said that God had showed him that when the high priest went into the Holy of Holies, that they would chant the word. You know what I mean? They would chant it in a rhythmic way when they would speak the word in the Holy of Holies. And he said that God had revealed to him that Christian rap was going to be real big in its final harvest on earth. And so he had been talking to me about it, and God had blessed the ministry with this building in Houston. And so I said, okay, well, we got the building this time. Let's put it together. Yeah. And so we got together, man, put a few heads together, reached out, picked out a dope lineup for this initial kickoff. And I believe we're going to have a good time, man.
Now, is it going to be different artists every time, or you kind of trying to take a lot of the same lineup?
It's going to be different every time,
okay.
Man. We're gonna branch off into CCM, country, rock. We just going to bring the kingdom together. You know what I mean? A big problem is the body's not united. It's not jointly fit together. When you look at churches, they're economically separated. They're separated by race. They're separated by music genre. They're separated by all these different things. But if we're supposed to be one body, then we could get under one roof and worship God in different styles. And so we just wanted to prove that to people.
Now, was this going to be in different places every time, or is it going to be at the church in Houston?
So initially it was going to be at our building, but we hadn't finished our renovations yet to get it done in time because we didn't want to halfway do it. So this time we're having it at CT Church in Pasadena, Texas. But from here on out, the event in February and every other event after that will be at our home church in Houston, Texas.
All right, for sure. So you got to fly out there every time, every other month. Then is that what you're going to be doing?
Yeah. I'm been talking to the wife, man. We really considering planting a flag in Texas. So I don't know if we're going to live in Texas full time or we're going to be back and forth. But we talking about making this move.
And I know, especially during the COVID season, a lot of California people are making that move to Texas because California government is kind of insane. Can you say that? Insane? And they're stupid. But I mean, I don't even want to travel there right now because of how crazy it seems, in California. So a lot of people, I have a lot of friends that have moved to Texas, just in the past, 5 or 6 months. So a lot of people have been doing that. GS, you've been in Texas for a long time. Tell us how you got involved in this and just what this means to the city of Houston.
I mean, I think, we need something like this in the city. Anytime we can bring brothers from different backgrounds, from different states, different point of views together, man, to just celebrate God, I think it's always a good opportunity for the city to witness it. We're a city that has, years ago, there was a report that came out and said Houston, Texas has the most Christian rappers, active Christian rappers than any other city in America. And but we are the most, we're not united here. And so, sometimes, man, you have to have somebody come to your gym to show you how a team plays together. You know what I mean? So when they leave, you can see how you should be playing. And so I'm hoping and praying, man, that be an opportunity for us to learn, not to get cocky and not to feel like, that certain people weren't a part of this, that they're not really a part of it. I think a lot of artists are going to be in the building as well. And I think it's going to be a good opportunity for the city to see the Lord in a unique way.
And I think that's dope that that's going on in your city, and you could admit that maybe we've struggled to do that as a unit, and somebody else has to come in and do it and have enough humility to be able to accept that. I think that's dope. Are you from Houston, GS? Because we got a comment saying you're from Wisconsin.
Man. Hey, man, born and raised in H-Town, man.
All right, I think you know who that comment's probably from.
Yeah, I do.
Gangbanger 6 out there in California.
That's crazy, man.
But he said you're from Wisconsin, bro. But but we've talked about it before, GS, with the unity in Christian hip hop and trying to figure it out, and Isaiah being new in this probably has no idea all the stuff that the Christian hip hop genre, or whatever you want to call it, has been through. But with this, is this something that can turn the tide in Christian hip hop? Something like this that we need more unity, and an event like this could help change that. Turn the tide in.
I'll be honest with you. I think, and this is my personal opinion. I think CHH, the genre is kind of on its last leg. I feel like this is a victory lap for us. The next couple of years will be victory laps for the people in the body of Christ that do Christian hip hop music. Although, the music sound has changed drastically, and even the message has changed, I think there's still people who, I wouldn't say pioneers of CHH, but guys who really stuck their flag in CHH and said, I'm going to represent this. I think a lot of those guys are still thriving in the genre, and they keep it alive. And so, and even what Isaiah was saying, like, how quick he said it happened for him. Like, one night he was doing this, and then the next day he was, quote unquote, no pun intended, doing Jesus, right? Yeah. And so it seemingly it happened like that for me. I have been, God had been tapping me on my shoulder and on my heart my entire life. And I think probably about 2 months, man, I had just been going through it myself. And then January 2nd, 2011, dedicated my life to the Lord. I dropped my first mixtape in February. And so I haven't looked back. And so, when I see people or hear people say that it's a quick transition and stuff like that, I completely understand it. A lot of the habits I had, overnight, they were gone. Yeah. Like they disappeared. And so CHH, itself, I think it's we got some good representatives. We got guys like Hurt in the West Coast that's killing it out there, man, and really representing, man, and like keeping CHH alive. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now, guys like myself. Saying
it's on his last leg, though, aren't there the newcomers like Isaiah? Isaiah's been involved for a year now, or a little less. There's newcomers coming in. Is it maybe on its last leg for a certain group of people that are transitioning to other things, or, just, you said the genre as a whole, but I see new young people coming in and they're excited about it. Are we just getting older? Because, sometimes I have the same frustrations. Are we just getting to that age where sometimes maybe our generation needs to step to the side and do something else or help push the younger generation?
I'll give you an example. I don't know if y'all remember Slam Ball. Do y'all remember Slam Ball? Yeah, them guys just jump on trampolines and do that. Like,
Yep.
I had a friend that was in slam ball when it was at the peak. And I mean, they was getting endorsements. They was going to different countries. They was everywhere. Kind of like And One, right? I think that's a better example. And One, when they had Hot Sauce and all these guys. And then they started bringing in the newer guys. Although they were as good as Hot Sauce were a lot of the notoriety, the popularity, and what had made And One was no longer there. And so for me, I think with CHH, and this is just my opinion again, I think the glory years of CHH, we've kind of, we may be past those. You know what I mean? Like the way we rocked crowds and people came out in droves and supported, and the way we were able to tour throughout the U.S. and really preach the gospel, the way we were able to pray for people and do Bible studies and build curriculums in prisons and all these type of things. Not to say that it's not happening still. The response to CHH is much different than it used to be, and that's just my opinion. So not to say that the new group of guys coming in won't have an impact. I just think they won't be able to experience the things we did because, those opportunities are no longer available.
But I think they could experience new things, and I think that brings new opportunities. Hurt, what do you think about that?
I kind of understand what he's saying. Like, the notoriety has tainted it. Like, guys are in it for money and in it for fame now, as opposed to people literally getting into it to make a change.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's always two sides to the coin. So that notoriety and that fame and that monetary compensation can also help further the gospel, because if you have the right person in the right position doing it the right way, more people are seeing what we're doing. Then, it takes money to do ministry. So if you're making more money, it allows you to be on the road more. It allows you to put more money into doing different things. So it's just a two-sided coin. I think the comment that you made when you asked about elders and people that our age stepping aside, I think that's a bad thing, because a lot of these young dudes are more entertaining than they are spiritual, than they are revelatory, than they are of walking in the power. A lot of these young dudes aren't ready to confront a demon. You know what I mean? They get treated like the 7 sons of Sceva. And so you need elders. The church has to have elders. You need elders and elder statesmen in everything. So if we step to the side.
And I didn't mean step to the side like all the way, as far as, I said step to the side and help push the younger generation. And by pushing them, not just musically, not just pushing their music, but doing exactly what you're saying, like disciple them, get them to a point where they understand what they're getting into, because the music business is a crazy industry. We've all been involved in it for a long time. And Isaiah, I'm not sure, you said you've been rapping for 20 years before you got into it, as far as into Christian hip hop. So what it's like on the other side too. I talked to No Malice. I talked to other people that have been in the secular world, and they see it so much. And these young people coming into it, they think they want this fame, and they use Christian hip hop to try to get there. But we need people like you guys to be able to disciple them, not step all the way to the side, but be able to disciple them and lift them up, because they do have a new zeal to do this too, though.
Yeah, they gotta want to be discipled, though. That's the whole,
100%, 100%.
That's the whole thing. Like, Jesus walked up to Peter and said, "Follow me." Peter could have said, "Nah, I got my own business." He chose to follow him. No different than whoever we allow to speak into our lives. We choose to humble ourselves and let them see us unadulterated, and then let them, whether they reprove us, whether they exhort us, but speak into us. So it's a two-way street, but that comes with building relationships.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's why I think events like this is so big, because a lot of the body is just, oh, you don't believe this, you don't do this, you don't do this, you don't do that, you're not like me.
Yeah.
But then we want to correct each other. But a lot of times, if a stranger come and correct somebody, everybody's not in a position to receive a rebuke from a stranger.
I never do.
Yeah, it's just like, and I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. Like, especially if you have some level of notoriety, then it's like, man, this dude is looking for some shine, and all these different ideas of what that person's motives could be to pop in your head. So I think we have to start building relationships with people and start doing different things and knowing people's heart. When you know somebody's heart, like, you'll understand that they're not coming for you, that they want to see you win. And, God has revealed a flaw or a kink in their system that if you just patch that up, it's the small foxes that destroy the vine. You patch that little crack in the wall up, man, you're going to be strong.
I think you're right, man. Relationship building is the biggest key. I mean, that's what Jesus was, right? He was a relationship builder. And the fact that we think we don't have to do that is crazy to me. But I think building those relationships to be able to trust, to be able to, talk to people on their level and know where they're at is very important. And I don't think we do a good enough job of doing that. And that's something that, we're trying to do here at Speak Life Radio is build those relationships and to be able to disciple younger artists and different things like that. So I think that's very important, that you said that. Isaiah, you being new in this, how do you have, what's your outlook on all that?
I agree with a lot of it. I feel like there's a lot of people from what I've seen, they want to do Christian music, to gain a fan base that they might not have been able to get, that they might not be able to get in the secular world. And, and then a lot of these people, man, that I've seen, that they'll build their fan base and then they'll slowly begin to conform more and more to the world. You'll hear less and less of Jesus this, Jesus that. It starts to sound more and more like a motivational rap. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and then you know what I mean? Like, I can see that, and I'm fairly new, but I feel like just like people like that may be excelling. I also feel like there's a remnant in the whole music scene. You know what I mean? Where those people will be excelling too, but it's gonna be in a different way. You know what I mean? Like it's like the people over here talking nothing. They're talking about kind of the same thing that people in secular music talk about. And then you got your remnant who's really spreading messages. And I feel like the Lord is raising the remnant as well. So I hear what Bros is talking about.
Yeah, and I think a lot of what you said is true and accurate. I mean, that's a lot of people are trying to chase something, and they think if they don't cuss in their music that they can jump into the Christian label, and jump under that. And a lot of people have succeeded doing that, and we see it, and we see the change when they start getting a little more popularity and fame. You kind of see where their heart really is, and they fall off, and they start doing songs with secular cats and trying to say it's discipleship with which that's up to you and God to decide if that. But we will know them by their fruit, and that's a true statement. And I think we need to really focus on that, and people that follow these artists need to focus on that too, because not everyone that says they're a Christian rapper is a Christian rapper, or that says they're a Christian is a Christian. But we are here live right here on Speak Life Radio, talking to G.S. Hurt and Isaiah Robin. The Sound of Light experience is this weekend. Are you guys excited about this? I know you guys have been promoting it for a long time. You had some changes with having to change the venue and everything like that. How excited are you for this?
Man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It's going to be my first time to Houston in general, so that's going to be a big thing. I got a lot of family and friends out there. And just to get up with people. I've never met Marcus Rogers. I'm familiar with him, never met him. So just to get to him and meet him and see who he is as a person, you know what I mean? Who people perceive us to be on the internet can be completely different than when you get face to face with a person and you feel who they are, how they are. So I want to see who he is. You know what I mean? Get to know him for who he is. I'm pretty sure people who never met me is like, who is Hurt? You know what I mean? I see him on the internet. I see him doing this. A lot of people think that I'm something that I'm not because of their perception of me on the internet. And so that's the good thing about getting with people. I'm excited to lay this foundation for the Sound of Light experience, for this being the very first one. Excited to do this new material from this album I'm about to drop. It's just a lot of different reasons that I'm excited for. I ain't seen my brother GS in a while. Yeah. Every time I see him, he out here, so it's gonna be good for me to go to where he from and get to see another side of him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Every time I'm with GS, we in California. Yeah. Or Vegas. Yeah. You know what I mean? But to go to Houston where he got roots, where he didn't stomp and he didn't did all these different things, and to see what made him the man that he is today is going to be a good experience for me too.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. Yeah, a lot of people think I'm a jerk, on the internet, and then they meet me in real life. They're like, "You're still a jerk." So, but GS, last time you were on the show, and I got to bring it up because I need to see the picture. Hurt, I want you to take a picture of the conversation where GS gives Marcus Rogers a hug, because you had some things to say about him on the last show. So I had to bring it up. I didn't know if I was going to bring it up or not, but you did. So are you going to talk to him, or are you guys going to try to squash that, whatever it is?
To be honest with you, I don't think it's anything to squash. I have my personal opinions about him, but here's my thing. I think God does things the way He do them, right? This show, I wasn't even supposed to be on this show. I was actually supposed to be on the show in February. He didn't know I had any feelings toward Marcus Rogers, right? Yeah. He had no idea about it. So I was supposed to be on the show in February. That's the one that Marcus wasn't going to be a part of. Yeah. So originally when he called me, I'm like, we good. And then he called me back like about, I think about a week or two later. He was like, "Yo, man, how you feel about doing, the show on December 3rd? I said, "Yeah, that's cool." And he started running down who was going to be on. And I was like, man, this may be a God thing, right? So him and I had a very long, drawn conversation. Yeah. Me and Hurt, we always going back and forth. And great conversation, right? And so for me, I'm a leader, and I'm a leader's leader. You know what I mean? I'm the guy who try my best to hold people accountable, and I don't mind people holding me accountable. Yeah. Right. I'm always worried about how people are affected by leaders. Right. That's a ministry God has placed in me. I'm always worried about how people are affected by leaders, and so because there are a lot of broken people that I minister to, and many of them have been broken by people in the church that they trusted, or by people that was in leadership. I'm a little extra sensitive to those type of things. And when I listen to this guy, I've heard a lot of theological error. The way he deals with the people who disagrees with him, I'm not a fan of it at all. The way he carries himself as a man. And even some of the things that, there's always stuff that you hear in the creases and the crevices of hallways. Yeah. It's just so much stuff that I feel very differently, with him about. We get a chance to share the same stage. We get an opportunity to praise the same Lord. And if there's a conversation that may happen, I'm open for it. If it doesn't happen, I won't feel any type of way about it. But I look forward to, at some point, having a conversation with him and just asking him, why do you do what you do and the way you do it?
Well, I do hope there's a conversation, even if it's not this weekend. But I definitely think there needs to be that conversation. I know I've done the same thing with people where I've had to have that conversation and like Hurt was saying, get to know them in real life to really understand what's going on. And a lot of people, the perception on the internet is way different than who they are in real life. So I do hope you guys get a conversation and get to at least hash it out a little bit. And no fighting in the green room, GS.
But far from that, man. But what's interesting, man? I know Brian Trejo. You know what I mean? Him and I, we know each other personally, man. Really good guy. I've met him many times. I think we've shared a stage before as well. And he does a lot of shows with Marcus. And I've known him to hang around solid people. So there's some curiosity there. You know what I mean? He may be a lot different than I think he is. And so, I'm going to have an opportunity, man, to just kind of, see and watch. And plus, they're going to be in my city. So I'm going to be a gracious host, man. I'm definitely going to make sure they're okay. And they want barbecue. They want, whatever my wife can, put together for them. We'll take care of that.
For sure.
Can I chime in real quick?
Yeah, definitely, bro.
I think a lot of times, man, being a vocal person, a lot of good and a lot of bad can come from being a vocal person. I'm a vocal person. GS is a vocal person. Brian is a vocal person. Marcus is a vocal person, right? Isaiah is a vocal person. When you're vocal, especially when it comes to this faith thing, controversy follows. Yeah. Right? Because there's so many interpretations of the word, right? So many different denominations and all this. And then we get into all kind of different things, right? But where does the passion stem from is what a lot of times we don't get to find out.
Yeah.
Right. I've been seeing Marcus and you know, I saw he said some stuff I agree with, said some stuff I disagree with, just like everybody. I've never agreed with no man 100% until recently about doctrine. Right. So it was like, okay, whatever. Like, you know, but what pushes the passion? And that's what I like about getting to meet people. Like, people would look at Brian, because Brian coming against people who smoking and drinking and getting tattoos in the CHH community. Yeah. And people were shunning him for that, but he look, I'm just trying to stand up for holiness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of people don't like it, but he's being vocal and adamant about what he believes in. And like, I can respect that, right? Same thing with GS. He's been vocal and adamant with what he believes in with Marcus. Now, as men of God, they should be able to have an answer for why they have the hope they believe in, and then get to find the reason and the why for what they do, what they do. What God has been taking me with lately, man, is, you know, it's a lot of different doctrinal issues, right? It's a lot of different Christian gang banging. Like, we're Baptists, we're this, we're that, we're this. And a lot of times, man, we just got to look for the Spirit of God.
Amen.
And that's what I'm starting to look for. If there's no Spirit of God in you, we're going to have a whole nother conversation. You know what I mean? And you might not like me after I tell you what I tell you because you think you got the Spirit of God in you. But if we can find the Spirit of God in each other, we can have a conversation, and the Holy Spirit is going to correct. The Holy Spirit is going to do what he do because it's his job to search deep in the reins of our hearts. It's his job to search out and find these falsities inside of us as long as we're willing. And so, you know, I believe that Marcus has a Spirit of God. I believe that GS has a Spirit of God. And I believe that when they sit down and talk to each other, I think they're going to edify each other, man, in whatever way God do it. Because I don't know what's going to happen.
That's good, man. We appreciate it. You know, just those words. Because I think it is, man. I think too many Christians are beefing with each other. We see it in Christian hip-hop all the time. I think that needs to stop because, you know, if we talk about the unity that needs to be done, things like that need to be done, those conversations. So, listen, man, if you guys are tuned in live, please comment and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. But comment, let us know where you are tuned in from. Shout your city, shout your state, shout your country. Let us know where you are watching from, and we will shout you out right here live on the show. You're tuned in to Speak Life Radio. I'm Quan59. I'm your host. We got GS Hurt and Isaiah Robin live on the line. Hurt, I have a commercial that we played, but is it outdated? I have a commercial for the show.
Oh, nah, because I didn't give the address.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna.
The only thing about it that would be dated was the address, and I didn't get an address on there. So
okay, cool. I just want to make sure that was the case. So we are going to get into this, and we will be right back after these quick moments, breaks, whatever it is. Here we go.
Good people, how you doing today? My name is Hurt, and what I want to do is introduce you to the Sound of Light experience. It's taking place in Houston, Texas at the VOH Church on December 3rd, 2021. Now, what is the Sound of Light experience? It is an experience where we get to come into the light and the glory of God. Light brings order. When you shine light, you have vision, you have understanding. So the light of God is the order of his kingdom. It is showing us exactly who we are, who he is, and how he wants us to be. And our goal with the Sound of Light experience is to have you have an experience with his light that you have never had ever before in your life. December 3rd, we're going to have Marcus Rogers, Brian Trejo, GS, Isaiah Robin, Justin Messenger, and myself. And we're going to bring our very own apostle, Michael Petro, and we're going to shine some light on the kingdom of God. God bless you, and I hope to see you there.
Overcomer Apparel, a premium Christian clothing company that boldly displays and promotes a message of victory and hope. This is more than a brand, it's a testimony. Connect with us on Facebook at facebook.com/Overcomer Apparel and check out all the fresh merchandise at www.overcomerapparel.org. Get your gear today and let everyone know that you are more than an overcomer through Christ. Revelations 12:11. And they overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony.
Yo, what's up? We are back right here live on Speak Life Radio. Valerie, please send me a script so I could have someone else record that. It sounds like a Old Navy ad or something like that. But shout out, check out Overcomer Apparel. She got some really dope merch right there. So make sure you guys check that out. Check out the website. Really dope gear, man. She's giving me some, but I've been asking you for a script for a long time. And yeah, it sounded like Old Navy. Didn't it sound like Old Navy to you guys?
Hey man, you crazy. All I'm gonna say is you crazy, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
It's crazy, though. One thing I can say about Quan, man, Quan is genuine and it's never a dull moment. Like I can respect that about you, man. You're not trying to fit into nobody else's box. It was good though. It was very corporate. It was
very corporate.
It was a corporate ad.
But she's dope. She got some really dope gear right there, man. There's a lot of dope clothing brands. I think everybody has a clothing brand. Isaiah, you got a clothing brand too, right?
Yeah, godlyvibes.com.
All right, check that out. GS, you still doing those shirts? I was gonna wear your shirt tonight, but it's Taco Tuesday, so I had to wear my taco. I enjoy romantic walks to the taco truck. I had tacos today, man. I love Taco Tuesday. It's my favorite holiday. We get to celebrate every week. You know, what other holiday can you celebrate every week but Taco Tuesday? So everyone get some tacos. Does Houston have good tacos, GS?
Yeah, of course, man. Come on now.
Okay, GS.
It's called, it's called Tex-Mex for a reason.
Yeah, that's Tex-Mex, though.
I understand, but do you know where we're nearby?
You're nearby Mexico, but...
Yeah, and do you know who has the most... Let's just be honest. You know who has the most illegal immigrants in America? Let's not play this game, man. See, I've been trying to be politically correct. Because I know this is hurt situation, man. You gonna pull the GS out of me.
Look, talk that talk. Look, I'm gonna ask you this though.
Yeah.
It's a place, I think it's called the Gumbo Spot. It's next to the Turkey Leg Hut. They said they got gumbo tacos.
Bro.
Gumbo tacos, bro. Wow.
Bro, let me tell y'all something, man. You haven't eaten until you've come to the H, man. It's different here, bro. It's different.
I will be there in under 12 hours.
Yeah, and listen, this is what I'll tell you. I owe you and your wife a meal. I'll pay for you guys to go to a specific spot. I'm gonna tell you about it when y'all get here.
Wow. Can you Uber Eats me a meal, bro?
Hey, you coming out here next year, man. You and 6, man. I got you.
Yo, I feel like the West Coast has the best tacos, though. I took Hurt to a taco truck in Vegas last time he was here. A lot of people try to downplay Vegas with the taco trucks. Listen, I've impressed a lot of Californians with my taco truck down the street from the studio.
It was bomb.
Yeah.
See?
It was bomb. It was a late night fire chicken burrito. I had a burrito. It was bomb, man. Mexican food is different, man. I've never eaten Mexican food when I went to Texas. Every time I go to Texas, I get like soul food and different kind of things. So I hear a lot about Tex-Mex. You know, you're gonna have to win me over
But here's the thing though. When I hear people talk about Houston, they say, "Yo, I'm going to Texas." Listen, man, we're in Houston, bro. Houston is like it's like on the side of Texas. Like it's in Texas, but Houston is Houston. Texas is Texas, but Houston is Houston, man. So when you come here, it's different. There's no other city in this state like Houston. Like there's no other.
That's dope. I'm with it, man. I want to see, man. Because like I said, me and the wife thinking about settling down in Texas, man. And so we're going to see if Houston got it.
Man, shoot. For the price them houses out there cost, man, you get you about 2 or 3 of them out here.
That's the plan.
Facts.
Isaiah, have you always been in California?
Yeah. But I got to vouch with GS, man. I was in Houston like a month and a half ago, bro. And every place I went to, man, I mean, like, it was gourmet.
Yeah, speak on it.
Incredible, bro. Like, bomb. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, bro.
Yeah.
Bomb.
Let's get it.
GS, I heard every woman in the mall looks like Beyonce. Is that true?
Hey, I'm married, so I don't know. I don't see no more.
I mean, you know what Beyonce looks like.
Before I got married, I did.
Okay, so before you got married, did every woman in the mall look like Beyonce?
Yeah, about 60%.
Okay, hey, that's a good percent.
Yeah, it's this is, my wife is a beautiful woman. I'm not just because she's my wife. Like, my wife is really fly.
He's over here stuttering. He's over here stuttering. Hurt. What's
no,
going on?
like, serious. My wife is really fly, bro. So, like,
I believe you. I never said anything.
Yeah, but there's some.
I don't know why you're so defensive right now.
When he first got with her, he was like, "Hurt, I'm telling you."
Yeah.
He said, "I got me one, boy."
Yeah.
I got me one, boy.
Yeah, I was excited.
He's not just saying that because he's on the internet. Like, that's how he feels.
All right.
Yeah. And so, but there are a lot of, attractive females here. And if you came here, Quan, they're not like the ladies in Vegas.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. There's no ladies like the ladies in Vegas.
I know. I've been there a couple times.
Yeah.
They're different.
They're definitely different. They're definitely different.
Yeah.
Six says they are Beyonce with gold grills.
Man, Six came out here probably about 8. No, Six came out here before we were saved. I was in college, man. And we went to Clyde Drexler's daughter birthday party or something. Me and her was cool back in the day. Like, we still cool now. But interesting fact, man, his daughter, and I know this is weird what I'm gonna say, but it's on my mind, so I'm gonna say it anyway. His daughter, she has a celibacy ministry, and she's in I think she's like early 30s, and she has a celibacy ministry, man. And like I mean, in college, if you seen her, you would never have thought that, but yeah.
You talk about Clyde Drexler's daughter?
Yeah.
Oh,
her name is Eric. Her name is Erica Drexler.
Okay.
That's needed, man. That's needed.
That's dope.
Everybody trying to give it up. The men and the women. Everybody giving it up. So, like, somebody, not just somebody standing for purity and celibacy, but somebody with a prominent name.
Yeah.
Them is serious, man. Because these young kids, man, it's worse than what we grew up. Like, I grew up. It was 2 Live Crew. We had Dog Pound. We had Luke. We had different things. You know what I mean? But the stuff that, like, when I hear music now, the stuff that they saying, it's just unfiltered.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfiltered. Like, remember the Tip Drill video? That used to come on BET Uncut. It was certain stuff that wasn't just on TV throughout the regular day. Now what you see on TV and now what's on the internet, like, to get access to raunchy visuals, we had to either have cable or have a specific channel. Now these kids just go on the internet and they just say, "Are you 18 or older?" And you could just see whatever you want to see. So to have people standing for purity in public, man, it's a big thing in times like right now.
Yeah, and I was talking to my wife about this. I was telling her that we attractive, people in general, whether it's female or male, like attractive people are everywhere.
Or both.
We fail to realize.
Or both. No, go ahead.
That don't exist, Quan. Look, I'll die on that sword. That don't exist.
Them and they.
I told them to fire me at work when they started to tell me I had to take a boy in the girl bathroom. I said,
"Oh,
fire
heck
me.
no, bro."
Fire me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's these conversations I think need to happen. I already told my wife, I was like, there are attractive women in the church, but sometimes
not my church.
This guy here. Sometimes,
well, I'm telling you, I'm looking for a new church, bro.
Church better not be watching. But this guy's crazy, man.
I mean, I didn't say, I don't know.
But here's the thing. I say, but the standard for being attractive is, for some reason, the culture has created that standard. So we have people in the church that are Christians, but still want to look like people that are outside of the church. And it looks like the Church of Corinth, where you can't tell whether they're saved or not. And so sometimes, man, appearance is very important. When the Bible tells us to flee from the very appearance of sin, I'm not saying looking a certain way is sinful, but there is sinful ways that you can look. And so if God tells us to flee, run away from the appearance of sin, then appearance matters to God also. And so, women in church, there's some beautiful women in church that I think, if I think if we would start defining what beauty is, then we can stop looking at the world in the tight clothes and the short skirts and start saying, hey, that's what beauty really is.
Yeah.
It's another side to that coin too, though, man. Like dudes looking zesty. That wasn't supposed to be a joke.
You said zesty, bro.
Yeah, they looking spicy out here. It wasn't supposed to be a joke, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but
that's funny.
And I understand that certain things are cultural, right? Because you go to Middle Eastern countries and older countries, like dudes are wearing skirts and kilts and different things of that nature. So there are things that are just cultural. You go to their countries in Africa where men walk down the street holding hands. If you see men holding hands in America, you're like, oh, they're dating. You know what I mean? But there are just still certain things that are like, that's not manly. That's not mannish. You know what I mean? And so I think I saw something where I don't know what it was on. And some girls were saying like men should pay for everything. It's in the Bible. You know what I mean? Men are supposed to be providers. It's in the Bible. And the guy came back and he said this. He was like, okay, well, are you a traditional woman? Because you can't want a traditional man if you're not a traditional woman. He said those women were virgins. Those women cooked. Those women provided a home and a lifestyle and a culture. Are you that? I think today in our society, we want our spouse to be traditional, but we don't want to fit the traditional values. A man doesn't want to be the man, the high priest of the household. A man doesn't want to set aside time and pray and then provide and then go kill something and bring it home and cook it so that we can have food and different things like that. A woman doesn't want to be a mother and a this and a that. And so we got to just get back to the roles that God put us in. That's why we fell in. We fell in because we stepped outside of the roles that God put us in, and we kind of want to blur the lines. We kind of want to wear eyeshadow as men and want to do certain things, and women kind of want to do certain things that men do because why can't I? It's my life. But God gave us specific roles for a reason, and once we fit in the lines, the game is created with rules, man. If you don't play by the rules, there's no way you can win. If I play a game that I ain't never played before and I don't know the rules, I could be doing all kind of stuff and thinking I'm winning, right? And just thinking like, oh man, I did this and I did that. And then after the game, they're like, yeah, you didn't score any points because you broke all the rules. That's what it's going to be like for Judgment Day for a lot of us.
And that's crazy that you say that because we can't even talk about that anymore, right? We can't talk about what we should do and what we, what's required of us as Christians because you get bashed for saying that these days.
Yeah. It's even sitting down, what's I'm learning that not learning, but I mean I've been seeing this coming. How they market homosexuality, how they market this to our kids. Like we watch basketball in my home almost every day. It's just something that we do. And on the commercial,
Michael Jordan highlights, right?
Well, no, LeBron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, don't worry, we're gonna get into that, Hurt. Yeah, he already starting it already. I already see it coming.
You don't want it, man.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. Yeah. So here's the thing though. I try to tell my kids, I'm like, listen, I don't want y'all to ever think that this is the norm. Right? Like this is not the way it's supposed to be. And that's what people have done with the Bible. They'll say, we're not in biblical days anymore, or this isn't the 90s, or this isn't in the early 2000s. And it's like, it doesn't matter what time it was, man. Listen, disrespecting old people is still disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like not being a man is still not being a man. Like not taking care of your children is still some sucker type stuff. Like it's just because it's a new time, you putting your hands on a woman, bro, there's still abuse. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and so I think culture is starting to embrace things that the world should never embrace. And that's why I don't want my kids to be raised by culture. So I try to make sure that they know what the standard is. So when they can see the opposite of that, they can immediately identify it.
Yeah, but what's really sad is we see a lot of Christian culture conforming to that too, in churches and accepting more. And as long as we're a little bit better than what the culture is doing, we think we're good, right? And I think that's a dangerous position to be in because God's called us to be and have certain standards. And I see the church too much conforming to what the world's doing. And as long as we're not doing exactly what they're doing and we're just right above them, then it's fine. But I think the whole church needs to step up, and I think we're in a dangerous place with that, because the more wicked the world gets, the more conformity I feel like the church gets.
Yeah, that was
whose approval are you looking for is what it boiled down to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. The fact that we can't see God.
Yeah,
a lot of people are looking for the approval that's in their face. You know what I mean? And like, you have to search for God. You don't have to search for the devil. The Bible says sin is at your doorstep, right? You got to find God, though. You don't have to find evil. Yeah. And so I always say that the laws of the land create the culture of the people in the land. The best example I could use is weed, right? A lot of people that never would have thought about smoking weed smoke weed now because it's legal in a lot of states.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So because it became legal, it's culturally okay.
Yeah.
So homosexual marriage coming in, it's a legal thing. It's okay. And to the people who are struggling with homosexuality or who are just flat out gay, we're not trying to hit the nail in the coffin on you guys, because liars, drunkards, thieves, cheaters will not inherit the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
Right. And I know a lot of times the church tries to just hone in on homosexuality as if it's just the worst sin. But at the same time, it is an abomination to God because it stops procreation.
Yeah.
Right. So like, there's two sides to that thing. But we have to now be, a big part of this is we don't know the culture of the people in the Bible. We read the Bible with a Western mindset, right? We haven't learned Hebrew culture. We haven't learned Jewish culture. We don't understand the whys and the hows of why God said what he said, what it meant to the culture, and getting back into that culture. We don't understand the feast days and all these different things that have everything to do with this belief system that we say we live.
Yeah.
If we say we're of the kingdom, we're in the world, but we're not of it. If we're not of the world, we got to be of something, right? So if we're of the kingdom, then the kingdom is it's a spiritual country. It's a place, right? So if it's a place, then it has rules, regulations, it has a culture, it has laws, right? It has mode of operation. And a lot of time, the church has taught us to not learn those things. As long as we go to church and we pray and we accept God and we ask for forgiveness for the things that we do, and then we fall short of the glory that God is calling us to because we don't understand the culture.
Yeah.
And we're closer to the world than we are to God because we don't know his heart, his culture, or his spirit.
And I talk about it all the time. I've been to a lot of church services where they will give like a good motivational sermon, might, get into a couple scriptures, and then they do an altar call at the end and ask who wants to accept Jesus, and raise your hand and come up to the front, but they didn't mention Jesus at all. So what are they accepting? What are they even accepting? And so now they think they're saved. They think they're good forever because that one day they accepted Jesus, but you didn't even tell them who Jesus was, what it is to give up everything to live for him. And I think the American church, you're right, man. I read a book. I can't remember the name of it. It was probably like 10 years ago, but it was about, Jesus and the culture and everything he was saying around what the culture actually was. And we're so conformed to the Americanized version of Jesus and what we want Christianity to be for us to make us feel comfortable, that if you really tell the truth and what the culture was like, we're not comfortable with that. So I don't even want to hear it, because as long as I don't hear it, I feel good and I feel safe in my comfort zone, just being able to raise my hand and say, I want to accept Jesus, walk up to the front, and you don't even know what you accepted because you know nothing about Jesus.
Yeah,
go ahead, GS. I'm sorry.
You know what's crazy? So when COVID hit, it taught us that people didn't have a relationship with God. They had a relationship with the person that was talking about him. And so people didn't know scriptures in the Bible. They didn't know where to find certain things. They didn't know whether Jesus said it or whether Paul said it. If these people have been going to church for 30 plus years, in the moment that the doors of the church closed, they realized that they needed the church more than they needed Jesus. And it was like, and in that moment, they made a lot of people, the people that I've come across, they made no change to build a relationship with Christ. And it's interesting, man. Like you said earlier, some of us don't even, we're not even really Christians. Like I told this one young man, I said, bro, to be the weakest Christian in the church and the strongest Christian in the world, you still got a lot of growing to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's no example. And let's just, let's shift for a moment, right? I think this is for to get into the GS segment. Listen, there's a lot of suckers in CHH, man. There's a lot of suckers over here, right? Because the spirit of hip hop exists in CHH. And because the spirit of hip hop exists in CHH, a lot of the guys that are in CHH still deal with that spirit.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of guys that are extremely prideful, a lot of guys that want to backstab, they want to use you, they want to take advantage of you. They're not at the shows for the right reasons. They got people coming to the shows, sleeping with the fans. Like, I mean, it's a whole lot of stuff you got to deal with. And when you've been doing it as long as I have, and as long as her have, and been around as even long as you will start, unfortunately, it starts to desensitize you a little bit.
Yeah.
You're just like, that's just, man, this is what happens. Even me talking about it right now, it seems very casual. It sucks though. Yeah. Right? It happens so often and it's not fun at all. And I wish that we could do something about it. But it's just so many places to start. Like, everybody in CHH are not here for the same reasons. Like Hurt said earlier,
100%. Yeah.
Everybody in CHH do not look for people's lives to be transformed. They're not transformed themselves. They're still in the process of even knowing who Jesus is. They didn't take no time away to really get to know the Lord and seek his face and find out, is this really what God wants them to do? They're just doing it because they seen what somebody else did. And if we look at it by definition, bro, that's coveting, which is one of the things that Christ told us not to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's so many things in CHH we have to really kind of navigate around. But I think people like Hurt, people like you, people like myself. I'm not familiar with Isaiah just yet, but I think people like us, we kind of have a good hand on the pulse of where CHH was, where CHH is, and where it can possibly be if certain things was implemented. But I want to give you your flowers right now too, Quan. Your show, man, has been an avenue for a lot of people to be able to not only grow their ministry, to show people who they really are, and to expose themselves to a group of people, man, in Christian hip hop. They would have not had a platform to be able to do that. We don't have very many of these. One of the biggest Christian hip hop radio stations that was located here in Houston just closed about 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
It's no longer online. I mean, you're talking a multi-million-dollar station that was doing some tremendous stuff. They just closed.
Wow.
And so you have these things happening, and now my kids are riding in the car. They have nothing to listen to. So guess what? Guess how many other stations are out there, though? Guess how much other music is there? But it's we just got to figure out ways to combat these things and, man, create opportunities for people like us.
And Isaiah, you being new in this, how do you think we can do that? In Christian hip hop, and make Christian hip hop something where there is, a standard, because like GS said, there's not a standard overall in the whole Christian hip hop genre. What do you think we can do to change that and help fix it?
Well, I mean, for one, you know what I mean? I feel like the world is getting so wicked right now that people are looking for light, and I feel like because it's getting so bad and people are, even people who never even been in church or don't really know God like that, they're seeing so much evil that they know there has to be something good, you know what I mean, to weigh out that. So I feel like, that's where a lot of people like just this show, you know what I mean? Like things are, I feel, well, as far as I see, things are starting up, and it's excelling to a point where people can see it and notice it, you know what I mean? Just even with, where the Lord has been excelling me, you know what I mean? Like I get many people writing saying they didn't see this way, they didn't see the things that way, you know what I mean? And they want to repent. I feel like the Lord is excelling people in different avenues, you know what I mean? And as far as like the Christian rap thing, I'm fairly new to it, but I see, just like I see, people, I feel like are conformed with the world as well as in CHH. I also feel like I see people who are who are bringing the light of God, you know, who are bringing true revelation in their lyrics, who really are disciples of the Lord. And I see them both, you know, excelling to a certain point, you know, but I feel like we're coming to a point where the darkness will be seen just as it is, though, even if it's CHH, you know, as well as the world, but everywhere it's going to be seen just as it is, because the light of God is growing so much right now, just because the darkness is so overwhelming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good, man. And you're right. A lot of people, especially during COVID, were getting scared, and they wanted to see something different, and they want change. They feel the evil. They want change, and a lot of people are. I feel like the church failed a little bit during COVID, during that whole lockdown period, because a lot of people, a lot of pastors, a lot of churches were scared in a time where we say we can handle anything. Like, we're Christians, we know we're armed, we're equipped for this, and then when it happens, we get scared, we back off. And I feel like the church failed a little bit in that time period, and you saw a lot of people, and I've even seen Christians drift this way towards crystals and all the new age stuff. So people are looking for something. So I think we need to be out there. We need to be the voice to lead them to the right truth, because everyone's looking for a truth, for a light. And I've seen Christians even talking about chakra and crystals. I'm like, what are you doing? I'll slap the crystal out of your hand if you put it in my face.
You know why they doing that, though? People are looking for something to have faith in that don't require them to die. That's what it boiled down to. People are looking for something to have faith in that doesn't require them to die and change.
So you can still do whatever you want, you know, with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like saying the scripture, they have a form of godliness, but deny the power thereof.
100%, man.
Because to him who believes is given the power to become a son, but you can't become a son until you die. And so a lot of people are looking to have God their way. A lot of people are looking to, like, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. No, yeah, you spiritual. You spiritually of your father, the devil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And these are the type of conversations that people don't want to have, because if you've yet to die, because there's a difference between being stagnant. Stagnant is death. Yeah. If you're stuck somewhere, you're backsliding, because the definition of backsliding is being in the same position and being comfortable there, right? Because the kingdom is perpetual. Yeah. So if you're trending up and you're growing, but you haven't fully died yet, you're still in the proper position. But if you have been saved for 10 years and ain't nothing changed, right? Your theology haven't changed. Yeah. You can't look back at yourself and say, dang, last year, I can't believe I said that, or I did that 6 months ago. I can't believe that I believe that way. I can't believe that I treated people that way. That means you're not growing. Yeah. Right? A vast majority of the church, we just want this relationship with the Bible. We want the relationship with the Bible and the words that are in the Bible, and not the Spirit of God behind it, because if we really take this word seriously, it requires us to die. And the more you ingest it, it's going to kill you. And so people are looking for all these other avenues and looking for doing all these different things. People don't have anybody who they can submit to. People don't have spiritual leaders. People aren't submitted to somebody up under them because they have to die. You can be a renegade and not die. You can do all these different things and not die. You can sit up under these grace theology pastors and not die. Yeah. Oh, the grace of God covered it. It's okay. Yeshua died for that. All sins were covered. You don't have to do anything no more. There's no sin that you can do that God won't. No, because grace abounds, should we live in sin? God forbid. And so people are just looking to be able to be associated with God and not die, or associated with a higher power and not die. And because of that, man, it's a one-way ticket to hell.
And there needs to be more growth. There definitely needs to be more growth. And I encourage people all the time, man, get in your word for yourself. Like, you can't just believe what anybody on the pulpit says. If you're not getting in your word yourself, you do not have a relationship with God. It doesn't matter what relationship you have with your pastor and what relationship your pastor has with God. If you're not getting in the word and wanting to dig deeper and wanting to grow, you don't have a real relationship. Isaiah, what were you going to say?
No, I was gonna touch off what Hurt was saying. You know, from what I've seen, you know, people are comfortable People are comfortable at surface level. They are frightened to go deeper spiritually. But in the word of God, it says all creation waits for the manifestations of the sons. How is that possible? If we don't go deeper spiritually, then we won't come into perfection where the Father wants us to become one with the Lord. It's impossible if we're just staying surface level the whole time. But people are comfortable being surface level. Yeah. And when something, when they go somewhere, when people start sharing some real spiritual truth, it frightens them. But really, it frightens what's on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They come against whatever the truth actually is. You know, and they're frightened of that. But people need to come to the point where they want to dive deeper spiritually, because diving deeper spiritually is what brings us closer to the Lord.
Man, that's good. You guys didn't know you're getting church tonight, huh?
Yeah. You know what? Let me add to that too.
Work.
Because I was talking to my wife. One of the things is vocabulary, right? It's the way we identify what we're going through. So a person to say, hey, man, I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with porn. Or I'm struggling with addiction or whatever it is, right? And then you ask them, how long have you been struggling? And they'll say 5 years. And it's like, my brother, you're not struggling. You have given into this. This has become a part of your lifestyle.
Yeah.
This is no longer a struggle. But what we do is we take a word and we'll demagnify, right, the severity of something. So instead of calling it sin, we'll call it struggle. And it's like, no, we need to be able to identify things for what they really are. When Jesus spoke to people, and right now, me and my kids, we're going through, we're talking about Jesus. You know, they've learned a lot about God. We're talking about Jesus in the awe of Jesus and the awe of God. And so they're learning that, like, yo, he wasn't a sucker. Like, he wasn't soft. He said what he said, and he meant what he said. And it's ways of being honest with yourself. There are things that we have to do to be honest with ourselves, and if we're not honest with ourselves, then how can we be honest with other people? So I think it starts with vocabulary. If we're able to see some of the issues that we're dealing with and face those things face to face, and then ask the Lord to really help us with getting rid of those things, getting closer to Him, I think they can happen. But unless you're able to look at yourself and just really tell yourself, hey, man, you know, I'm not a great person.
Yeah.
Or I really struggle. Yeah, like people want, listen, the worst prayer you can never pray. I prayed this year 2 of me giving my life to the Lord. It was the worst prayer and the best prayer at the same time. And that prayer was, God, show me who I am in your eyes. Man, and boy, listen.
I know about that one.
Yeah. Man, listen, you talk about a whole 6 months of just ugliness. It was tough. It was tough. And God will use people around you to show you who you are.
Yeah.
And you don't want to hear from them. You rather Him tell you than the people that's always seen it.
100%.
You know what? To add on that real quick, Quan, definitions create understanding, right? And a lot of times what we have done is we have put our own definitions to terms that God gave us.
Yeah.
And we put definitions that make our flesh comfortable. And a vast majority of the church will read the Bible, see a word, and then Webster's Google what that word means. Not discerning the fact that the Bible started out in Paleo Hebrew, which is numbers, pictures, words, root words, subwords, and letters all put together. It's a very complicated language. We transitioned to Aramaic Hebrew. Then we went to Greek. You know what I mean? Then it went to Old English, right? And then we read this Old English with a new English Western mindset. And so left could be right, up could be down, but you would have to study it. So you have to go and look in the New Testament what it means in Greek. Then you have to take the Greek and trace that all the way back to Hebrew, because they weren't in Rome and in Ephesus talking in Greek. They were talking in Hebrew, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we don't have the proper definitions to these terms that we're using. And like you said, GS, we watered these terms down and we tried to make them fit in today's society or fit in America culture or American terminology. And we fail God in doing that. We fail ourselves, we fail God, and we never know what we really trying to get to. We don't know the goal. If I change the colors of a picture, I don't get what the original picture was supposed to look like.
Yeah.
No different than Yeshua, the picture of Yeshua that we see, which we know that is Caesar Borgia, right? That's Caesar Borgia. That's not Yeshua. They changed the colors of the picture, but when you change the colors of it, it gave us a whole new outlook on what the object that was being portrayed really was. Yeah. And it's the same thing with these defining terms. And so we just got to get back to what God was really trying to say. I can say I see a red dog in my head. It's 4 of us on here. One of us might see a little red dog. One of us might see Clifford. One of us might see a hairy red dog. You know what I mean? A red dog that's shedding, a vicious red dog, because our own interpretation and perception of what life has done to us and how we think will talk about, will paint this red dog in our mind. Yeah. But if God said a dog is red, his paws look like this, he looks like this, he has this temperament, then we have to just take it for what God said. But because we don't know his defining terms and we changed them to suit our flesh, man, we miss the whole scope of things. And now everybody has their own perception, their own definition. Well, that's not what that means to me. That's not what I see in scripture. Well, God didn't deal that way. God, we said we got to eat the meat and leave the bones. They didn't have to eat the meat and leave the bones with Peter. Yeah. When Elijah spoke, there were no bones. Yeah. When Moses talked, there was no leftovers. It was all pure. Yeah. It was manna from heaven. And so we got to get back to that.
That's good, man. So basically what Hurt is saying is you need to actually study the word, right? You can't just take your favorite scripture and create a fortune cookie out of it and post that up and live by that today and live by tomorrow's scripture tomorrow. And you can kind of tell who reads the Bible off the Bible app because the only scriptures they post is the verse of the day. And you got to go around that. So even if you read the verse of the day, just read the whole, read the whole scripture. But it's true. Not enough people study and we live off of what we want to learn and how we want to take the Bible. This is how I interpret it. God has one interpretation for it. Like you were saying, he's not letting us interpret it how we want, and however we interpret it, that's how we can live and how we could, go, and that's how we make it to heaven. A lot of people say all the time, I hear it all the time, I think God, there's different gods and we can get to heaven however we want and however, and that's such a lie, and that's the biggest lie. You have to study for yourself and stop just living off of what your favorite pastor says, your favorite YouTube, Instagram preacher says. Study for yourself, because you're not gonna get the fullness of God if you don't.
Yeah, and speaking of study, I think some of you guys need to go back and study the NBA, because clearly LeBron is the GOAT. Because I don't know what we could be talking about online, Quan, but you clearly. You have a sports show talking about basketball with a guy who was in the NBA's brother, and LeBron doesn't come up in these conversations as the GOAT. It's surprising to me. I understand.
It's subjective, GS. Listen. The GOAT conversation is subjective.
Okay, tell me how.
If I can understand somebody saying Jordan, Kobe, or LeBron. One of those three are the greatest players ever.
Okay, hold on real quick. You named LeBron last. If you just say LeBron, Kobe, Jordan, I'm with that. But,
okay,
I
respect. To me, LeBron is the greatest all-around player ever. Like,
okay,
all-around player. Like, he's
you guys both need to stop disrespecting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Just because he's Muslim. Just because he's Muslim.
Let me get somewhere. If you want to talk, Wilt Chamberlain is the greatest athlete that ever lived. Listen, Google some of the stuff that Wilt Chamberlain did. The high jump that he was doing. Yeah. Google the athlete that this man was. He was running a 4-something at 7'2". Wilt Chamberlain is a freak of nature. Yeah. What he did in basketball, don't give him credit.
But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, man,
the sky hook is unguardable.
But defense too, though.
Yeah. I get it. It's that's what I'm saying. They're like how we can talk about the word. The word is clear cut. It is what it is. When you start talking about sports, man, everything is relative and subjective. What you feel like is best to you. Because if you want to go by numbers, we got to stop disrespecting Bill Russell. If we want to go by effects and changing the game, we cannot disrespect Michael Jordan. If we want to go all around, we can't stop disrespecting LeBron. If we want to go on impact on modern players and killer instinct, we can't stop disrespecting Kobe. It's relative. Yeah.
All right, I need to get everybody's top five NBA players. It doesn't have to be the best of all time, but your top five. GS, who, and Isaiah, are you into basketball?
I used to be when the Lakers was winning a lot.
Okay. Well, they're about to win again this year.
We just won.
But before that time, it was losing all.
We just 2020 in the bubble. We just did it.
We're about to do it again this year. We finally won a game tonight.
They got a super team now.
LeBron got COVID though. It just came out today. LeBron got COVID.
Yeah, he has
and
COVID.
He's vaccinated, which is a whole other situation. Yeah.
Is he vaccinated? Because I really think he had a fake vaccine.
Yeah, I think so too. They made him the face of the NBA for that, but yeah, I don't know. So hold on, Quan, you a Lakers? Well, you are a Lakers fan.
Stop it! Come on, bro.
Yeah, Magic Quanson.
Die hard, Magic Quanson.
My bad.
Magic Quanson. Don't mention that. Don't mention Magic Quanson.
Hey, yeah, when you bringing Magic Quanson back out?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, man, I got some clips online. I still have them saved.
I feel like it's politically incorrect these days, so I don't know if I can do it or not.
Oh yeah, he will definitely get canceled.
Exactly.
He'll be on that Nostradamus though.
Oh yeah, come on, man. I'm at least 90% with that.
Yeah.
Give me your top five.
My top five is Jordan, Kobe, no particular order. LeBron, Shaq, and who would I have as a four, man? Ooh, I might go. I don't know if I'm gonna pick Duncan or Barkley. If I would have like my five,
Hold on, we doing lineup or we doing just five any position?
That was the lineup.
He's doing lineup.
Okay, let's
do lineup. Yeah, let's do lineup.
Oh no! I'm gonna put a King at the four. I'm gonna put the Dream at the four.
Okay.
How you gonna change positions? How you gonna put him in a different position?
Technically, he was really a power forward,
but he played center.
Yeah,
he was a power forward playing center because he had that European footwork, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Y'all not gonna beat my team though. You're not gonna beat Kobe, Jordan, and LeBron on the wing, and then Shaq and Hakeem down there. You're not gonna beat us. I don't care how many. You can go get Steph Curry, Dirk, Larry Bird. You can get all the best shooters in the world. They're gonna get inside of their jersey.
Come on, man. Why you gotta be racist though? Why you gotta put all the white people in the light skinned dudes? And then say we can't beat them. Come on. Isaiah, who's your five?
Steph Curry, Kobe for sure. Jordan. I'm gonna go with AI and D Rose.
Rose. All right.
That's not a team, but just my top five.
No, that's small ball right there, but that works. D Rose, especially in his prime, man, it's sad to see him get hurt, but it's dope to see him still playing. But D Rose was ridiculous in his prime.
Yeah.
D Rose kept getting hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
they lost tonight, but D Rose kind of did his thing though.
Yeah. That was a good game against Brooklyn.
Yeah.
GS. I'm gonna do GS's top five for him.
Go ahead. You already know what it is.
I got LeBron at the one.
Yep.
I got LeBron James at the two.
Yep, there we go.
I got Bronny James' dad at the three.
Yep.
I got LeBron at the four, LeBron at the five.
Yep, there we go. Yep. That's my lineup right there, man.
You are a LeBron stan, bro.
You know what it is? You know what it is, man? I like him on the court and I like the guy off the court, right? But you got to think about this. I was having a debate with somebody, and you know the only way that and this was their debate. The only way that they was able to compare him to Jordan, because obviously he has more years in the league than Jordan does. He was like, if you break down the amount of minutes Jordan played and the amount of minutes LeBron played, I was like, come on, dude. Like, we're talking about numbers, right? If we just say numbers, now we're not talking rings because we understand that. But if we're talking numbers, come on, man. Let's not play the game. But if you're talking about a killer instinct, I always wanted to defend the best player on the other team. And of course, Jordan has that, right? But LeBron is one of the most consistent players that I've seen in 18 years, back to back to back to back. Like, name another player that was that consistent from day one up until now.
You can't.
Right.
And what you can't disrespect about LeBron is, like you said, off the court, LeBron changed the game off the court. He came in heralded as the truth, the king, the chosen one, and he never let you down with those expectations. You've never heard of any scandal. You ain't never seen him with another woman. You ain't never and it's not to say that he haven't did things. I don't know what he has or hasn't done, but he's managed to keep his reputation clean. And those are the type of things that you got to respect. Like even with Kobe had a rape case. He didn't rape the girl, but he had a rape case, right? Jordan had all these gambling allegations and all these different things. Like, I've seen mafia dudes say that his dad was literally killed because of his gambling debt.
Yeah.
Like, little stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? That came out about these dudes. Like, LeBron mixed that hip-hop era, that swag, that Iverson brought to the game that we didn't have. He mixed that, but with the pristine, clean reputation of Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's a fine line to walk to be able to be kicking it with Future and executive producing all these albums and being on the scene to now giving players power. Like, LeBron empowered the player to where the GM don't have the power, the owner don't have the power, the player gonna say, look, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
All that came from him, and those things that you just have to respect, like him, love him, or hate him.
Yeah.
Like, I always use Karl Malone as my example. I'm not a Karl Malone fan.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not a fan of how he plays, his style of play, but I have to respect his buckets.
Yeah.
I gotta respect what he did.
Yeah.
You don't have to like LeBron, you don't have to like Kobe, you don't have to like Jordan, you don't have to like none of these men. You don't have to like nobody. But if you're going to discredit somebody for their flaws, the least you could do as a mature person is give them credit for the things that they actually did do.
Yeah. All right, GS, we got to get you on the sports show sometime, man. Co-host with us, so you and Josh could actually, argue that out a little bit. But make sure you check me out. I'm live every Monday and Thursday, West Coast time, 3 p.m. on Unnamed Sports Show. So make sure you guys check us out there. We interview a lot of former NBA players, UFC fighters, all that stuff. So we talk sports. We do all that. It's fun. So make sure you guys check it out, and we'll have to get GS on there to talk some sports with us. But real quick, Isaiah, we did have a question for you in the chat that I wanted to get to. Somebody asked how you looked at Christian hip-hop before you got into it when you were just living in the world. Did you know Christian hip-hop existed, and what was your perception of that from the outside?
I didn't know nothing about it, really. I listened. I used to listen to some early Lecrae years ago. That's all I really knew. So when I first started listening to it, to be honest with you, it was a whole new world for me. You know what I mean? It was a whole new world. I couldn't believe how much was actually going on in that world. It was like a veil lifted up.
Yeah.
I had no idea about none of it.
Who were some of your some of your influences right now? Like, who do you like listening to?
I honestly, I'm a big. I listen to a lot of worship music. But as far as rapping, my cousin Robin Martyr, I listen to him a lot. And it's some new There's some new youngsters out, man, that are making some noise. You know what I mean? Caleb Gordon, Christopher Sincere, a couple cats I'm starting to hear from my algorithm just playing new people.
Yeah. That's dope, man. Listen, we have a big event this Friday. What time's that at? Is that 7:00?
Doors open at 6. The event starts at 7. It is at 6109 Fairmont Parkway at CT Church in Pasadena, Texas, man. The Sound of Light event. It's going to be an experience. It's not just a concert. We're going to get a small word from Apostle Michael Petro. All the men of God that's going to hit the stage is going to bring some of the word too, man. So I'm just excited, man. I believe in my heart of hearts, I believe that nobody who comes is going to leave the same.
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
That's dope, man. We got the information on the screen right now. So if you're in the Houston area, make sure you go to this event live. And if you're not in the Houston area and you want to watch it, they are live streaming it as well. So there's an Eventbrite link you can go to. So make sure you check that out as well. We're actually giving away 4 free streams because they are charging for the streams. And if you can afford it, please go and watch it live. It's going to be a dope event. It seems like it's going to be a long event. Every time I look up on Instagram, there's somebody else being added to the lineup. So it looks like it's going to be like 9 hours long, but it's going to be a dope experience. So make sure you guys check that out. We're giving away 4 streams. So you need to DM me and I'll let you know we're going to be doing that on Instagram tomorrow. We'll be giving away those streams. So if you guys want to watch it, make sure you check it out. Watch it live. I know I'm going to be watching it here in the studio. So make sure you guys check it out. There's a lot of people involved in this. So, some of your favorite artists are going to be there, artists you haven't heard of. But I agree. You're definitely going to get touched because I know a lot of the people that are going to be involved in this. And it really is going to be a dope experience. So I'm going to be excited to watch it, from the comforts of my studio. And GS, I definitely got to get out there to Houston, man, sometime soon. I know I'll be in Dallas sometime early next year, too, looking at some stuff out there, thinking about building another studio. So I might be out there, so I might just head out there at that time. So voh.church/SOL experience, SOL experience. So make sure you guys check that out. If you guys want a free stream, the first person in the comments in the chat right now to say they want a free stream, don't get the free stream if you're not going to watch. But if you want to watch the free stream, hit us up in the comments right now, and I will give you a free stream. We'll get the first one free right now and announce it right here on the show. But any last words you guys want to give before we get out of here?
Yeah, I just want to tell people, man, listen, you got to come to this show on Friday. It's going to be, you got to think about it. There's not very many Christian rap ministers, right? And you got Hurt, who is a Christian hip-hop artist and a certified minister. You have Brian Trejo, who is a Christian hip-hop artist and a minister. Marcus Rogers is a Christian hip-hop artist. He's a minister. I am a Christian hip-hop artist, and I am a minister. Again, I don't know much about Isaiah, so no disrespect or nothing. I'm still getting to know you. But it's going to be a lot of people that do music and minister. And this will be a great opportunity for you guys to come see your favorite artists, hear some of the music you've been listening to for a long time, either on your radio, through streaming. You'll hear it live. And then you'll also get a word from the Lord that night. I think it'll be a great opportunity for you to come.
That's dope. Hurt, what you got?
I want to add on a little something. I want to say, it's going to be exactly what it is, what it's called. It's going to be a sound of light. It's going to be light there. I know a lot of people have had a terrible experience in Houston just recently. They're at a show that was just filled with darkness. So we're coming out there, we bring in the light. You know what I mean? So I would just say, come out. It's going to be a powerful move of God, and support what's going to be excelled. Everything we're going to be doing there, is going to be in the will of the Father. And just come out and have a good time.
Yeah,
it's going to be a great time.
Let's talk about that real quick. Too, because this was already planned before Astro World happened. So when that happened, did that give you guys a different perspective on what you guys are really going to be doing there in that city?
Not me, because there's nothing evil that can happen to make me look at the devil any different.
Facts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he could do something to make me like, oh man, he's really evil. So stuff like this has been happening. It's not the first. It's not the last. It's. I think a lot of people need to get out of being intentionally blind, in the sense of Yeshua said, if you're not with me, you're against me. If you're not gathering, you're scattering. Right. So like, what's the young man's name? Who Astro World? What's his name?
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott. I'm old. I called him a young man. That's how you know I'm old. Travis Scott, right? Travis Scott is not living for the Lord. So let's just put it out there. Travis Scott is a devil worshiper. We were all devil worshipers before we came into the Lord. Whether you like it or not, you worship the devil until you start worshiping God. Right?
I wasn't. I was 4 years old, Hurt.
Huh?
So I was only 4 years old. Call me a little 4-year-old devil worshiper.
If you need to be born again,
I feel you.
If you need to be born again, so that you can have the spirit of adoption where you cry out, Abba, Father, that means the devil was your father because you were born in sin and shaped in iniquity the first time. But anyway, so we got to step away from, like, we got to look at all the clues, the shirt, the stage, all the stuff that they were doing. Like, he might not intentionally be representing Satan, but he is. Yeah. And just like all the different people in the world, they're representing Satan. And so we can't be surprised when Satan just pull a move. No different than we can't be surprised when God pull a move when we get in church and somebody get healed. Yeah. We can't be surprised 100%. When Satan do stuff when 2 or 3 are gathered in his name to do what they want to do. Yeah. And people start dying, or people start overdosing, people start killing each other, people start getting raped. And so it's nothing new under the sun. It's just the devil being the devil. But it does give us an opportunity to bring light, because Yeshua said, you know, I'm here for the sick. I'm not here for those who are healed. So now a lot of people are starting to realize how bad things are. COVID and the gang of stuff that's happening is having people realize how bad things are in the world. And so the whole world is crying out for the manifestation of the sons of God. So now it's our time to step up and fill that void that people have.
Yeah. And because it happened in Houston, it was a lot more coverage, right? It was a lot more coverage here because it happened here. So there was a lot of behind the scenes stories that went out. And one of the things that I seen that was a common thing between everybody that was actually sharing their stories is that they didn't realize what they had signed up for when they went. And we don't understand, man. Listen, when you're on the opposite team, you have no idea what you signed up for. He's going to take you as far as he wants to take you, and he don't care how you feel about it. They learned the hard way when they ended up in an environment where there was no control. And so I think, you know, that day brought a lot of clarity to people. It allowed people to realize, hey, there is a devil out here. There is satanic forces out here, and we need to be privy to these things. But I do think that we can do a better job as well as impacting this culture, because let's be honest, it's people like us that do this kind of music that's able to attract them. You know, I remember when I used to be in the hood hustling and stuff, and pastors and stuff used to come walking through the neighborhood, you know, missionaries with suits and stuff on. I wasn't paying attention to them. I was like, come on, man, I know what you're here for, you know. And so, but those moments when New Wine and when Lil Rascal came and set up stages in our neighborhood and was doing concerts at our community park, I was standing right there looking up at them like, yo, this is crazy. These dudes is extremely bold, and they from the hood. And so I know that there's a reason that we're here, and I believe that if we continue to just be here, I think a lot of people are being impacted just by us being available, and us being in certain environments.
If you guys are not in the Houston area and you still want to be a part of this event, you can watch the live stream. If you can't watch the live stream, you can't do any of that. You can still be a part of the event. Pray for the artists. Pray for the event to go well. Pray for people to be drawn there that definitely need light, that definitely need to see God, even if they're Christian, see God in a different way. Because we mentioned it a lot on the show, there's a lot of professing Christians that might not know they're not even walking in the right direction. So pray that people will be drawn to this event and pray that, it would just be successful in many ways and for the future of it. So I definitely look forward to it, guys. Definitely appreciate you guys getting on with us tonight. Let us know where we can follow all you guys. GS, I'll start with you.
This is GS on all social media platforms.
Dope.
Hurt_RPH everywhere. H.U.R.T. YouTube.com/RPH experience.
What's the RPH mean?
Royal Priesthood, 1 Peter 2:9.
There you go. Isaiah.
You can find me at KRAIZAY on any social platform.
Dope. Make sure
unless it's YouTube or music, then search Isaiah Robin.
Okay, for sure. Make sure you guys check them out. Follow them on all social media platforms and check us out. We're here every Tuesday. I know I was going to do music reviews tonight, but we ran out of time because, Hurt and GS preach a lot and they don't stop. But we definitely appreciate everybody for tuning in. I will do music reviews sometime this week on my Instagram. So make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at Quan59, and we will do the music reviews that we're going to do tonight over there. So make sure you guys check that out. I definitely appreciate you guys for getting on with me, and make sure you guys check out the Sound of Light experience this weekend in Pasadena, Texas. Make sure you guys check it out. There's all the information on the screen right now, so make sure you do that and watch the live stream if you can't be there in person. Fellas, I appreciate you guys. We're out.
Yes, sir.
You're welcome.